Maybe.
Commence primary ignition.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to VCN Transmissions. We are here to talk about all things Maul Shadow Lord, episode 5 and 6 are of our favorite highlights, and a survival guide to Star Wars Celebration. We got some special guests here. Sound off. Go. Someone go. Right, left.
You just said sound off. You didn't say what sound I had to make.
Take your pick. Your favorite pod racer.
Hey, I'm Grayson. If there was a pod racer that sounded just like a Tusken Raider was in a washing machine, that would be crazy. Hey, I'm Grayson from Determined Focus at Mortis FM. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
am I next?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Hi, I'm Will from Determined Focus podcasts and also other places. And I'm so excited to be here. Talk about Maul and Star Wars Celebration with these three yahoos, and I cannot wait.
Yahoos?
Yeah.
Can I at
We
least
call
be
it
Nesquik?
My name is Hunter. Many of you guys know me, also known as J Guy Hunter, and I don't have my own podcast. I'm not cool like these guys.
Yeah, disregard the fact that he makes actual droids.
Yeah, I was
so,
about to say,
yeah.
he's just building the Star Wars galaxy in his own garage. So
He is running
What
out
do
of
you
room
do?
slowly.
He actually told me right before this, is not even a joke, right before this, that he was ripping out the guts of Grogu.
No, I said I was clearing Grogu's guts off my desk.
grow guts.
Well, that you had to get him out somehow, I imagine.
Also known as Gogurt.
That's now canon. There you
Yep.
go.
Oh God! Don't tell John.
Fresh
Favreau,
harvested.
please.
Fresh squeezed.
Ew.
Green Harvest. Time to change your name, Colin.
Anyway, before we get started, we have a couple of great events coming up for VCN, including Boon to Eve in Texas at
Mhm.
Rebel ScumCon. Who's excited for that?
I'll be there.
Dude, I
Me?
yes,
I don't know what that is.
What
Dude, the FOMO was so bad last year. I can't wait to be there.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I mean, last year we had David W. Collins, aka Spybot, which we'll talk about him, and Mr. Matthew Wood. I don't need to introduce Matt Wood really at all. But you know, General Grievous, Battle Droids, all that stuff. Doing what was the name of the song from Skeleton Crew? Because it's the
Donkey
cover.
Whim.
Donkey Whim.
That was awesome seeing that live, dude. Oh my gosh.
And also,
I would've lost my mind.
if I'm coerced enough, I will do karaoke this year. So that's a reason in and of itself. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm pumped. Dude, that's awesome.
Sweet.
Spencer.
Is it Youngie Whim? It's Youngie Whim.
Is it Youngie Whim or Donkey Whim?
It's
At one point in the song, they definitely say Donkey Whim.
I think it's Youngie Whim is the song, but yes, it's Youngie Whim or Bunky Dunko, which is
yeah.
it's just a crazy sentence to say.
Yep.
I just feel like Grayson just insulted me like in a whole different language there.
Yeah. Dude, I'm basically a Hutt at this point.
But yeah, so there are they just announced their lineup last week, and also Tamara is going to be there, who was the puppeteer for Max Rebo in the Book of Boba Fett. So I'm going to be
Oh my God,
having some conversations.
It's the greatest day of Colin's life.
Yeah.
Or it will be. Dude, I didn't know that Kat Tabor and Anna Graves were going to be there. That's very exciting.
Real cool.
That's shout out Kat Tabor. You might know her as Padme from Clone Wars, but I know her more as Leia from The Force Unleashed, and when she has that crazy yellow saber from the DLC from Force Unleashed 2, which just kind of goes dummy hard. But yeah, I'm very excited.
Aunt Beru is also going to be there too. Bonnie, I'm going to mispronounce her name. Pasay. Yeah, she was Aunt Beru in Obi-Wan, and then in the prequels, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually crazy that they got her back for Kenobi as well. Like I was very happy that they like kept that continuity. So that's really cool though. There's a lot of the like it's cool because like Bounty Eve is a good like accompanying event with Rebel Scum, where it's like it's a lot more. Anyway, some thoughts can stay to ourselves. Noah, did the diary factory explode, or what's going on? But anyway, it's a lot of fun because it's like you get to experience Rebel Scum, and then like that evening you get to just go hang out with your friends again, and also meet all these really cool, incredible people. A lot of those people were like, I remember last year were just like in Will and I's hotel, and so I would just be like we would just like get breakfast and be like, oh dude, I love you in Ahsoka. It was like Nelson Lee from Ahsoka was there, or Omid, which we had met back at Fan Expo Denver. Amina Tahi, who plays Dr. Pershing, one of my... Is Dr. Pershing a Glup Shido?
No.
I want to say he is. Well, wait. Hang on. Hunter, what defines a Glup Shido? Because if someone's...
Why are you asking me?
Yeah, Hunter.
You kind of
I would say if you describe... and this might be a hot take for you, Colin. Like, I wouldn't call Max Rebo a Glup Shido because I think he's too describe a scene.
The banhammer went crazy.
It's like he was hovering over, waiting for you to say something.
Dude, it's a glitch. It's crazy. That's crazy.
But no, like if you describe a scene. Like, if someone in the general public who's seen The Mandalorian, you're like, yeah, the doctor guy from season 1.
Yeah.
People would know who he is. So I wouldn't call him a Glup Shido.
Okay. So
Max is kind of like on the edge for me because, like, a lot of people, if you're like, yeah, the blue guy in the band from Return of the Jedi, they would know him.
Yeah, the blue elephant that's playing. Yeah, they probably would know.
Right.
I think what the better question is what is the area in between main character and Glup Shido called? What is that definition? Because there's a lot of characters who live in that area.
There is. It is.
They're called a Bunky Dunko, dude.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah. From main character to Glup Shido. It's like, what's that? What is this called? You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, someone needs to make a banger tweet. Get on it now to like just go ahead and coin that term because that's going to be generational.
Kit Fisto is not a Glup Shido. But if I walked up to somebody on the street and I was like, name a Star Wars character, what, 1 in every 1,000, 2,000 people would probably say Kit Fisto, maybe even more?
I would say your chances are less than that.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if I was to say, what the heck's his name? The slug guy from Rise of Skywalker, Claude.
Everybody knows Claude, dude.
What about Mars?
Who cares about Kit Fisto? What about Claude?
There is like a weird like they become so popular. Okay, like the original tweet for the Glup Shido thing was about Zeb, and like I don't think we would all call Zeb a Glup Shido.
No.
But on the scale of Darth Vader to Ochi of Bastoon, it's like you got to figure what is this area called in the middle?
There is a middle ground.
There's a middle.
So
I have seen like a Venn diagram been made before of like where it's like where they kind of fall, you know, and it's like because like a Zeb, like he's like kind of that perfect in between of like yeah, he's like a main character in a TV show, but like when the headline came out that you know Garazeb Aurelios is popping back up in the Mandalorian and Grogu, that probably would just give a normal person a stroke. Because they're just like, what am I reading right now? Like, so
I just think Glub Shido is too much of a umbrella term at this. Like any Rebels character, borderline. Hey Noah, borderline Glub. You can't say that because Ezra was in Ahsoka, and Sabine was in Ahsoka, and Hera. Well, I mean, Hera wasn't the main character, but like
Good rage bait, Noah. You already got Will going.
But like, no, that's not even. I'm not baited. I'm just saying for like the general pop, you know, Gen Pop. And Max Rebo is also above like, I don't know, two tubes. You know what I mean?
Also, it like depends on how well they're marketed. Like Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace was like the most marketed character for that movie, and he's like barely in the movie. You know,
he says three things,
and it's like and one Max could say like back in Phantom
figure. Yeah,
that's true.
And I also think that like once a glup hits like, and look, I'm not gonna enforce glup gatekeeping or glup keeping, but like once a glup shido is like glup keeping, but like once a glup shido is like makes their evolution into like Gen Pop memedom, then you start seeing like Max Rebo mugs at Galaxy's Edge or like in Disney on Disney.com and stuff like that. And it's like Colin looked up like, I don't have that. But like, no,
I'm trying to find this image. Hang on.
That was so funny. I said Max Rebo and he went,
neuron activation.
Yeah. But like, he's a step above. I would say, just like you said, he's not really a glove.
He's kind of it's like it's kind of like he's transcended, you know?
Yeah.
He's evolved.
Hey, we haven't talked about anything that we're supposed to be talking about, Colin.
I know. This a little good icebreaker discussion.
Grayson tried to bring up Maul.
I did bring up that.
I derailed it. What are you gonna do?
Oh, well, so Will and I, we talked a little already about Maul yesterday, and obviously I'm happy to regurgitate all my thoughts again and probably talk about more stuff because I have more thoughts kind of all the time. But I want to hear from y'all too, like what y'all thought about the most recent episodes. How are you liking Shadow Lord? All of that stuff, because I haven't heard about it personally from you.
So I wanted to talk about just the highlights, just because we have a lot to talk about. I know Hunter's going to have a lot. Hunter, do you still want me to pull up the episode? You just say the timestamp and all.
You don't have to. I can just talk about the droids and one other big moment for me this episode.
Okay.
Droid walk with Big Eye Hunter.
Ooh, I like that.
Do you want me to go first then? You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Who talks first? I talk first? Okay.
Nice.
So big thing that I noticed like right off the bat that got me super stoked was the Imperial droids flying around. They are, I'm pretty sure they're Mark IV Sentry droids. But we first see them in A New Hope, but no one has any clue. You're talking Glup Shidos. This droid is a Glup Shido because it's just this floating blob in the background. But yeah, and honestly, the reason I know what it looks like is more so because of the Hasbro toys.
Sure.
Because it came with some of the vintage collection Sand Troopers. It came with the 12-inch Power of the Force Sand Trooper. But yeah, where'd Colin go?
Do we have photo reference of this?
Yeah,
Colin showed a photo we can pull up. But it's a Mark IV Sentry droid, and then the one in Mos Eisley has a specific designation number, probably because of that Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina book or something like that.
I have that. I have that in my living room. That's crazy. Okay, anyway, that's
solid book. But yeah, I was stoked to see them pull that, like a super deep cut when they could have just like thrown in a probe droid or something, you know.
So like was the droid that Spybot is looking at that's not a Viper?
Yeah, it's a really like kind of balloony looking round droid. It seems like we might have be having technical difficulties with pulling up the picture. But if you go on Wikipedia and look up Mark IV Sentry Droid, or hold on, I have it pulled up now, IM4-099, that is the designation of that droid from Mos Eisley.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah. And if you have the those like essential guide to blank books that they had back in, I don't know, probably started coming out with them in 2005-ish, I think.
Yeah.
So this guy's in there too. But it's kind of a weirdly rendered photo that makes him look like a fish.
What? So this was they added them in the special edition.
Yes, special edition.
Oh, okay.
But deep cut, goofy looking droid. I was stoked about that. And
Colin, do you want me to just pull up the tab that I have open?
Yeah, do it, and then I might leave the room for a second because I'm like glitching out for some reason.
You're good. Here it is.
Yep.
It should be popping up.
Here you go.
There it is.
Yeah, this guy.
Oh.
And then like the picture to the right of the one that you have, that's one I was talking about where he looks like a weird fish dude.
Why is that's the torture droid, right? Why is that the same designation?
Could just be Wikipedia being weird as far as Google searches are concerned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I was super pumped about these guys. The other thing droid related that I was stoked. I mean, well, one, it was super cool to see Spybot again. And I freaking love Spybot is like between like a step above Chopper as far as linguistic skills go, but you still have all that sass. I love it. And then this episode, calling Imperial Shinies, I thought was hilarious.
Shiny impies.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And then when we go to the casino, you see a droid come out with the drink tray, like on Jabba's sail barge.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. But what I enjoyed more about that is that it was rolling around in 2-leg mode, because the animators have respect for the fact that it doesn't work to have a droid in 3-leg mode and have a tray of that style.
A tray on top of its head.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool.
Oh, true.
But,
yeah.
Real meat of the episode, for me, that I thought was really, really cool. I think most people would agree would be the fight between Devin and Morok and Maul.
Yeah.
And paying attention to Devin's fighting style in there. So last week when Colin had me on here to talk about those episodes, that beautiful. Whole fight with Maul and Devin was a illustration of like why and how Maul is getting to her. There's that whole sequence in the dark room with the voice and stuff, and him coming at her from literally and figuratively every direction if you listen to it in stereo. But then he finally gets to her when he gives her a little bit of power by letting her take his saber. And that totally changes her demeanor and what she's doing and stuff. That continued again this week in this episode. She was barely holding her own in the fight until Maul showed up. And then Maul shows up and she switches from defensiveness to offensive fighting tactics. She actually starts to land attacks on Morok, and her whole thing, like you can see like, oh, Maul's here. Yes. Like I have this power, and that kicks her into overdrive. And like, she's power hungry because she and her master are just like down and out right now. And she needs something to like get him going, and she'll take anything she can get, even if it's a sketchy source of power at best in Maul. Yeah. And she gets a taste of that again this week in the fight on the train. And then like it takes her a second to like snap out of it at the end. You see her like there's this moment of hesitation before she actually like ignites her saber to be like, well, I guess I should probably fight Maul instead of just going along with this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was another really important. It was a really important visual insight that wasn't like explicit exposition through character dialogue that you can pick up from that battle. I think Devon's body language and like how she carries herself is the real tell for how she's feeling about Maul and what her intentions are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, she's like, I noticed like her fighting stuff. She's got like a lot of like, I noticed that she does like a lot of like uppercuts and stuff. But I mean, even from like the dialogue with like Master Daki earlier of like, it's very clear to her like, okay, all Maul's lessons have gotten to her to the point of like, she doesn't want it to, but it aligns more with her own interests of wanting to be this young fighter, you know, whereas Master Daki is not that. Although when those troopers were coming into the like little upper area, I don't think it was the apartment. I think it was when they went to go hide with, what is her name? She looks like Liara from Mass Effect 2. The bartender girl.
Yes.
I don't want to say it's not
Austin's girlfriend? Question mark.
Kinda, yeah. His like
maybe
like his like side chick. When the troopers come in the door, Master Daki is just like he's hitting these deflect shots, just like
Rena Soul.
What is her name?
Rena Soul.
Soul. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, it's like SU something. There you go.
Yeah.
Master Daki is like just pinging these troopers with reflex shots, which is kind of crazy, which is like how he's using defense to fight. But then like, I mean, this is like kind of leading into the fight with the train. Devon just, when she jumped on the LAAT, I was like, that's like the only time you've ever seen something like that is, or at least it sticks out in my mind, is in Fallen Order, when the second sister like jumps on their ship and starts like controlling it with the Force. Yeah. I was like, that's a very like offensive move. And then obviously she's getting like just completely thrown around by Marak, because Marak can actually do something in this show. So good for him. but
more than just a fart cloud.
just gone. But then as soon as Maul shows up, I mean it's over, you know, and she's like, okay, like no, like I can, if I have him, then I've got this in the bag, sort of thing. But I mean, she's out here like moving different in this episode as well. Like when she's cutting down those troopers and stuff, I mean, she's doing kicks and cutting them in half and pushing them up against walls and stuff. Like she's starting to get a lot more offensive with her fighting since her encounter with him in the past 2 episodes. And she's like easily becoming, every character in this show is so interesting to me. Like a lot of people, we were talking about this yesterday, Will and I, but like a lot of people like will complain about like, oh, you know, I wish I was getting less of this character and more of this character. And I'm like, I don't know, like for me, with the length of these episodes and stuff, like people were talking about how like, oh, Maul is like kind of in a back seat in these episodes. And I'm like, but I don't really have a problem with that, because I'm like, it's the snowball effect of the story. And I find Devon and Daki and Lawson and all these other characters like just super cool part of, even like when Riley is like calling his mom on the hologram, I'm like, I care about Lawson and his family, you know, like and what's going on there, why he is conflicted to like even the source of his kind of distrust with the Empire. I don't know. It's all really cool stuff. I think all the characters have a lot of depth to them. It feels very. I didn't say this on our episode yesterday, but to me, like, Shadow Lord feels like this kind of like this combination of like a little bit of Andor in terms of like kind of the seediness, the interpersonal characters and stuff. Yeah. The kind of family dynamic of Rebels, but in like a weird like Maul twisted way, and then like Force Unleashed with kind of these like, yeah, obviously the references of like it's Sam and David Collins are so behind the wheel here.
So here for it.
Yeah, and it's all, I mean, like I posted that image, and I should have sent it in here, but of Maul doing the training at the beginning, and he just straight up does the title screen of like reverse grip behind him with the like, which people in like my comments were like, "Bro, what a reach!" And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
No,
I
don't think that's a reach at all.
Like you just flip the picture, and it's just that. Like it's not even different. I don't know. And I know that reverse grip technically exists with Ahsoka. I'm like, but come on, like. It's Sam Witwer as Maul doing reverse grip, and Sam is like a consultant and actually is the character. Like, come on, it's obvious.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think it was definitely an Easter egg. The other thing too, and I want you guys' opinion on this because I remember watching the episode and I was like, this is insane that the Jedi did this. Is that they're on the run, right? And they go to Lawson's house. Well knowing they're on the run, putting Lawson and his kid in danger. And I think they did that knowingly. Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel about that? Because I was watching that. I was like, you guys should not be there. What are you doing?
Yeah. I actually didn't think about that, to be honest.
Knowingly is interesting. I mean, I guess now I'm thinking of like what the motivation for doing that, if they have the perspective of like, we want him to get caught, because there's no world where they believe like Master Daki does not know Marok is going to come slicing through the door, but like the Empire being like coming after them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I meant it more as like, they knew they were on the run. And, you know, if like I'm a Jedi, the last thing I'm going to want to do is put someone in danger, and going somewhere where, you know, someone's in law enforcement and they are, you know, very involved with this investigation, but you're trying to become allies with them. The last thing that you want to do is go to that place because the Empire is there. They are tracking and surveillancing everything. So I think that was an interesting move of them going to Lawson's place.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I think of is like, it's a Jedi banking on somebody's humanity, which is kind of what Master Daki has been doing the whole time, especially because he also knows that Lawson has already like, you didn't tell me you were a Jedi. You guys should get out of here. Like he already let him on the run, like just get off scot-free. So I don't think there was anything allowing them to be like, oh, maybe this lawman is going to do something and, I don't know, betray us. But like after the heat of battle in this war zone of droid police bots, as well as like Mandos and Rook Cash shooting a rocket launcher, like, and then to be like, actually, you guys can get out of here, even though I know you're a Jedi. I think that does sell him as probably somebody who is at least a bit trustworthy, and playing on his humanity as well, of like the first time Master Daki talks to him and tells him the plan is at his son's like space Bo-Katan game, Bodkin game.
Yeah, Bodkin.
So space lacrosse game. So like
shock ball.
I do think like Master Daki does have that on his side there. From Lawson's perspective, though, like going in and being like, actually, you should not be here. The Jedi are not allowed here. There's also the thing of like, he doesn't work directly for the Empire, so you might be able to bank on that a little bit too. And he is a human, like,
well, also
going against the droid versus human thing of like, we see two Bootslicker immediately call the Empire, but like,
two Bootslicker.
Dude, it's his programming. Give him a break.
That's fine.
Who cares?
That's
he was
fine.
warned twice.
I'm happy
twice.
that you're dude. That torture droid who was going at Leia, that was just his programming.
I think it would be really funny. I hope that what causes Two Boots to redeem himself and be like, hey, the Empire isn't that great. If he's like, I am not taking my boots off. Screw this guy.
The boots are staying on, baby.
That's when he starts to realize. It is funny
Welcome
though,
to the
like,
Rebel Alliance. Yeah.
get the we'll talk about the humanity of it all thing again, of like to see a droid go against his programming of like, you all can't be so like cookie cutter, be like, oh, sorry, that those boots are not regulation. And then he looks down and looks back up and he's like, maybe I don't want to be always regulation. He's gonna it's not a phase, Mom. He's gonna get a mohawk.
Yeah, well,
boots are made for kicking imps in.
Yep.
Yeah. You will, I mean, you also saw the humanity of Two Boots in the last 2 episodes that came out before these ones, because of he's like at the desk when like Lawson like, you know, is like, hey, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. And you see him like at the desk and he just kind of sees the picture of him and Lawson and he just pushes something like in front of the picture. And it was just like, oh, shoot. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, he does think like at this point, the thing is Two Boots just doesn't understand the whole way the Empire works, whereas Lawson does, you know? And it's like Two Boots is not going to be able to understand until he's on the receiving end of it. Lawson is, because of what happened with his wife, or at least whatever the relationship is, like with Riley's mom, of like, that's where he's like, nah, like I don't. And also Lawson is a lot more seasoned. We find out in the comic he was a bounty hunter prior. And he he wasn't always a cop, right? So he's a little bit more distrusting of that sort of stuff. And we know that he kind of cuts corners and things. But with the Master Docky and Devin thing as well, I think it is important to note that even the Master Docky, I think, is a strong moral figure. He does say in the first 2 episodes that like, we are not Guardians anymore. That is not us. And so I think in Master Docky's mind, the way he's doing is of like, they can help us sort of thing, and we can protect them. We probably can protect them, but it's not necessarily our job. And Devin is definitely like, you know, okay, well, this is what we have to do sort of thing. I don't think they're thinking about like, also, like you said, Will, that like they're going to get injured, like, or that something's going to happen. Like, again, you like didn't expect Marak to just like kick down the door. But I mean, Master Docky's like, well, we have no other option other than to ask them. Otherwise, like, you know, I think in their mind, we have a better chance with us working with them and asking of them and banking on their humanity, like y'all said, rather than us just being by ourselves, you know?
I think at the most base level, Master Docky is in survival mode before all else at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing a Jedi ask to use like smuggling routes from an active officer was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
of just like, are there any like drug smuggling routes or like ways of just asking for any, or like sewage systems or old piping to just like get off planet, which is great. Of just like, they don't even care, which like the Jedi of the Clone Wars would have asked for that and then been like, hey, Mace Windu, they're trafficking drugs through Sector B. And you're like, oh, okay, we'll get on that and then they'll use it. But like,
we got him, get him, go.
Whoa, Mace Windu. But like I do think though, having the mirroring of Master Docky, who's like still trying to do the good thing, with Devin slipping into like maybe doing the good thing in the way that I've been taught is wrong, is the best way for this show to go with those 2 characters, and I love it.
I think I'm like thinking about like how a lot of these things are like master and apprentice dynamics, and I'm thinking about like Kanan and Ezra. They're 2 characters that are like steeped in this like life of like the Empire is established, and it's like you're just at a very different time with the Jedi right now, where it's like they are like freshly being hunted, whereas like Kanan is like, I've been doing this for like 14 years sort of thing. And Ezra, of course, is already kind of like a street urchin. So, but it is interesting as well that like Ezra, the only reason he considers, I mean, he's kind of interesting. I think it's interesting to compare them, especially because like Maul also tries to later take Ezra as his apprentice, and he's trying to do that with Devin. But, you know, I think he's trying to, I can name you one more better. I can name you one more. Actually, I can name you 2 better. I can name you 2 better, Noah.
Yeah, that's a hot take, Noah. I would definitely put Ahsoka and Maul's duel above that.
Yeah.
Well, Well,
I
really think that, I just remember when I first watched this lightsaber fight and I was like, oh, just because of, I believe me and Hunter have talked about this a lot, but the animation, every single show that comes out in this animation, where I was just like, oh, like this is really good. This is the best we've ever seen. And then the next show comes out and it's like, oh, and of the lightsaber fight in this particular episode of episode 6 was just beyond amazing. All of the different movements of the lightsaber, the way they looked, it's just, you like have to think about how far we've come in animation, all the way back to when we first saw Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Ventress, like all the way back in that first season of the Clone Wars. Like, from that compared to where we are now, it's absolutely insane. And I am just really, really excited to see more action in the season, because there's still a lot of things from the trailers that we haven't even seen yet. And we're more than halfway now. So I am really, really excited to see like all the big action scenes that are yet to come.
We've got 4 episodes left.
Yeah.
I think I would honestly say
It's 2 weeks till May 4th. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would say most of what's left in the trailer is probably going to be in these next 2 episodes, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and also like it's important to note that a lot of the people who got screeners for it only saw it till episode 8. They have not seen the last 2 episodes. So, and all of the reviews have been based on those first 8. So it's like nobody really knows what these last 2 episodes. Which I mean, I guess leads to the thing of like Will and I kind of have our thoughts, but like who do y'all think Marak is talking to at the end of the episode?
Ooh, I would say Max Rebo, but I don't think it's possible because
I'm gonna leave the stream.
Boo.
You didn't let me finish.
Tomato.
You need to send that. Will, you need to send that tweet about Max Rebo that you saw yesterday, the Coachella one.
What?
I think Colin, you chatted about it.
Oh, hang on, wait.
Oh my god, you have to read it out loud.
I'll pull it up. It's what's the policy on potentially having an expletive in what I say right now? Swearing? Should I just blank it?
I would blank it.
Okay. It says Max Rebo fell. It's just a tweet. It just says Max Rebo fell off the stage at Coachella and died. He blanking died. that's the whole tweet. That's the whole tweet.
Colin, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, live on air.
I know. I am
3.6 million views on that tweet.
What?
See, that's what I'm saying. He's not a glup, dude.
Everybody cares.
Know how many like that got shared around because it's a Coachella joke, like niche Coachella and Star Wars joke.
Yeah.
But then people who shared it to other people who are into Coachella were like, oh, snap, who? And they shared it. I want to know how many people were like, I haven't heard of this artist. What happened to him?
I'm so sad for Max Rebo. He sounded
Everybody
so
looking
great.
at Max Rebo on Spotify.
I loved his music. Yeah. Jeez.
Oh my god.
Oh
Max
man.
Rebo's
Yeah.
Spotify Wrapped.
Local news
Max
local
Rebo's
newscast
Wrapped,
picking it up.
So are we all thinking it's probably Darth Vader, or do you think it's maybe the Grand Inquisitor?
There's a reason I'm wearing this, Colin.
It's because you like to wear long sleeves, or
it's because Vader. It's Vader, dude. Are we kidding? It's Vader. It's Vader.
I thought you were wearing.
It's gotta be Vader.
Yeah.
It's not Max. Okay.
I think we're gonna get a glimpse of Vader.
Yeah. I've been saying this for a while. If you send Inquisitors and they don't succeed, most of the time it goes directly to Vader, or the next person would be the Grand Inquisitor. But most of the time it's Vader, especially if there's 2 Jedi involved, and then also a force wielding maniac is on the loose. My guess it would probably be, Vader.
Can I say something crazy?
Who
is technically the first brother? It's Owl Guy, right? It's the Crow.
No, Marak
Yeah.
is.
Marak is technically
Yeah,
the first brother.
Maracas.
Right.
I think Grayson's right.
Does
The
does
Crow is
your
11th.
does your that's it? Does your title of what number you are have a hierarchy of like call order? Like seventh sister has to report to first brother.
Nah,
Okay,
not really.
it
Yeah, it
would.
doesn't seem that way.
Okay, so that's why I'm like, would it just be like wild if the Grand Inquisitor is like forcing his underlings to refer to him as Lord?
I mean, I don't. So my thing is, and we said this yesterday, is, and I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong as well. I've always interpreted it that, okay, with the Inquisitors, all other Imperials will say that to the Inquisitors, or very specifically to the Grand Inquisitor. All right, but the other Inquisitors are not saying that to the Grand Inquisitor. They're only saying that to Darth Vader. All right,
Yep.
like, and it's or to Palpatine, of course. Like that's like.
So then how is like Barriss referring to the Grand Inquisitor when the Grand Inquisitor tells her to do something?
I don't think
what I
she
mean?
says "my lord."
Yeah.
But
I
like
think
what
they
would the
call
term of
him
respect
Grand
be? Like,
Inquisitor.
yes, sir? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She,
Sir
yeah,
or
I
just
mean,
Grand
well,
Inquisitor.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so we know at this point in the timeline, we know it's slightly overlapping in the same year as the Bad Batch. We know that the events of Tales of the Empire with Barriss Offee, those first two episodes, are directly after Order 66. So at this point, do we know that second episode of Tales of the Empire where Barriss Offee ends up like?
Well, how long was
you-
Barriss in
you-
prison for?
We don't even really know, dude.
Yeah.
But
She
like
wasn't-
when she bows to Vader, it's like
Yeah.
it's with the 11th and the first brother.
Yeah, they're both in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I would be fine if they brought the Grand Inquisitor back, because I thought Jason Isaacs did such an incredible job as that character, and I would love to see him.
Oh, I
voice
mean,
the character
yeah,
again.
especially because in what do you call it? Tales of the Empire, he looks awesome in the animation style. So
Oh,
like,
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd love to see him again, and I would not put that. I mean, dude, having Grand Inquisitor and Maul fight would be sick, but that'd be awesome. But yeah, I don't think
Because I guess that's my thing. It's like if the Grand Inquisitor is around,
Yeah.
Marak would then technically be circumventing the GI to talk to Vader of like
Mhm.
chain of command. And if what we're all saying is like that there is a problem, it needs to be dealt with. I need to call my supervisor. He's like, yeah, I got to call my supervisor. This is Karen talk.
Yeah, I mean, it also could be that word travels up the chain fast, and Vader was like, hey, I want to talk to the guy who was there,
Yeah.
not play telephone through his manager.
Yeah, Vader.
I would also
Vader's
imagine,
not
like,
gonna
they're
answer
getting-
the GI. Yeah.
like they're getting called directly about Maul, and I imagine Palpatine would want Vader on the case of that. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't think he's gonna be like, oh yeah, like Palpatine knows that the Inquisitors can't handle Maul. Like, I mean, and even with seeing Rebels, I mean, Maul is out here just like, oh, yeah, Inquisitors are kind of nothing for him.
Right.
Like, so I imagine it's going to be like and even still in Rebels, like it's kind of implied that he understands the power that Vader has. So I think in terms of, like hierarchy, it's kind of like they're going to send him a rock, they're going to figure out what's going on, and then he's going to report directly back to Vader, you know?
Yep.
Because Vader's also like, this is like within the first year or two of him being Vader. Is like, we've got the comics, we've got Master of Evil. He's not up to it. He's not up to like, not say he's not up to a ton, but like there is room in his story for him to be doing this, you know?
And seeing Vader at the stage 2 in action is just gonna be so cool when it ends up eventually happening. I could see him like maybe popping up in the finale, but then they like they save most of his stuff until season 2. I think that's going to be part of the cliffhanger going into season 2. That's just me, but Will.
How do we think that Vader's going to move in this animation style? Because we've seen him in Rebels for Twilight of the Apprentice, and he's moving like an elevated, like David Prowse in the suit, and they kind of kept it that way, where he's very like Kenobi-esque,
Yeah.
where he's not doing flips and stuff like Maul is, you know what I mean?
No.
But then we look at the comic and he's like moving around. Do we think he's going to be like
he's
twisting and flipping?
No, I think he's going to be strong and deliberate, a little bit more like Anakin. Like Anakin doesn't have as many flourishes as Obi-Wan does, you know? And it's going to be a still tamed down version of Anakin, not like tamed down as in like he's not as powerful, but tamed down as in like every stroke of that lightsaber is going to be deliberate and like, I want to get this done. I'm not fooling around. I'm not trying to look fancy. I'm going to put whoever I'm fighting in their place.
So do you think he's going to be moving like
he's angry? He's like beyond angry at this point. So I think you're going to see a lot lot of that in his lightsaber. Like,
I think Maul's a reason for him to let loose a little bit. You know, obviously, like he does that with Kenobi and stuff, but there's obviously some emotional connection. Here's the guy who's like, oh, I can finally like fight this Maul guy, because they've never met. The only time Anakin has ever seen Maul was in the Phantom Menace when the door opened.
Yeah, but Maul knows.
No, I know that Maul knows Anakin, but Anakin is just like,
no, I think Maul is gonna know that it's Anakin in the suit.
For sure.
Absolutely. He's gonna like play on that, and it's gonna get Vader pissed as hell.
Do you think there's going to be any for like going into Anakin's mentality? Or I mean, it's weird to say Anakin and Vader because like he has two call signs, but like it's the same guy. So I'm gonna say Anakin's memories. Do you think there's any like revenge seeking towards Maul for the death of Qui-Gon, even still as Vader?
I think at this point, honestly, I think Vader is going to look for any excuse to blow off some steam, because I think you're right. At this stage, it is very early on, you know, of what's going on with Vader, and I think he's still getting used to his suit and everything after, you know, the events of Revenge of the Sith. So when he goes and, you know, sees Maul again, this is just us speculating, you know, that fight's going to happen in the finale, which, by the way, the very last episode is called Finale, and I've been saying this for a while. I think that is a placeholder name. I don't think that's the actual title name, because it would just spoil the crap out of that episode. So it's going
to be called Darth Vader shows up and fights Darth Maul.
You all called it in all caps.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I really think that it's just gonna be the scene of where Maul has this banter with Vader, where like Vader shows up in this dark hallway, he turns on his lightsaber, and then Maul's like, "Ooh, I've been waiting for this," and then like he drops his cloak or whatever, and he does the thing like he does in the Phantom Menace, and then we just see like this just kick-ass fight, like of just, it's just going to be so cool. All of us are going to be freaking out. You know, again, this is me alleging because we don't know if this is going to happen, but I got a sense that it probably is, because, you know, it's the final episode of the season. Also, it's going to be happening on May 4th. So, you know that they would be doing something really, really special for that episode as well.
Now, here's my question as well. Do we think that they hold off on the Vader Maul fight until a later season? Because I think about it, I'm like, okay, we're getting a second season of the show. Is it a thing of, are they going to introduce Vader as a more significant antagonist for the show, but they save that fight for later?
I don't think so, only because this is having Vader at the end of the season and then having people and then promoting it as Vader is in this show and Vader's going to fight Maul is like such a way to get, call it butts and seats, but like people to log into Disney Plus and watch the episodes.
Yeah.
And even people who like, I'll just watch it all after it's already come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And people who haven't even thought about it yet are like, you know, I hear animation, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, it's a cartoon. And then hear like, oh, Maul versus Vader. That's a fun thing to hear about. Like, how much merch do we have? Rebels merch of Ahsoka versus Vader, and like I would say, Ahsoka's a more prominent in the Rebels show than obviously Vader would be in the Maul show. But like those two characters are not like the Ghost Crew. But that's a lot of the merch. It's like that's a lot of the draws. Like, oh, there's really cool stuff that happens in Rebels. Like, there's all these characters, but then also like Ahsoka versus Vader, and then there's also like Maul versus Obi-Wan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I was talking about it last night with shout out Mike at Hondo Supply of like the vignettes you get in something like a Rebels or even a Clone Wars where like it strays off and there's another story. If Athena and Athena Portillo and Matt Miknovitz and Brad Rao, they're all I forget who said it, but there was an interview where there's a little clip that's like they want this show to break the 3-season to 2-season not curse but like record that a lot of Disney Plus shows have.
Yeah.
If this goes on for like 5 seasons, dude, I would say Vader might be like way more prominent. That like at the end of this, we get a fight and there is a confrontation and it looks cool, but very much like Marok, like getting away at the end, they're going to get away. And maybe Vader doesn't pursue in the same way. Maybe Vader is injured in some way that he has to get called by Palpatine and he doesn't want to be like, oh, sorry, master, I failed. So he takes matters into his own hands and there's kind of like a recoup and he has to like lick his wounds a little bit. Maul goes back into hiding and then we get him back in season 2. You know what I mean? I think we're going to get a lot more Inquisitors in season 2. Like there's going to be a slew of Inquisitors that are going to come after Maul, and Maul is definitely going to end up getting that title of the Shadow. What I'm saying now is him getting that title of the Shadow and those Inquisitors having fear. What if it is because he stood his own against Vader and lived?
I mean,
all the other Inquisitors are scared. You know what I mean?
I could see this turning into a Maul on the run type storyline.
Yeah.
Where Maul is scared of Vader, but is still trying to like build his empire and his power, and like that forces Maul back into the underworld more, forces him to try and build up that Crimson Dawn empire more, all to try and keep Vader from him. I think I said this last week to Colin. Where did I say it? There's been people posing the question, like, at this point, does Maul hate Obi-Wan more, or does he hate Palpatine more?
Yeah,
And I think we're getting to the point where it's like there's a switch where Maul at this point still thinks like he deserves either the right-hand spot. He doesn't like want the right-hand spot with Palpatine, but he wants to like show Palpatine. He's like, you threw me away and I am this powerful. And now I'm going to make you pay for that. So at this point, like he still wants Palpatine now. That was his motivation in Clone Wars. Really. I mean, he talked about trying to lure Obi-Wan there, but his real motivation was, hey, like we got to take Palpatine down, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
he's just trying to take out Anakin because he's like, that's going to be the new apprentice right there. Yeah.
Right. So he, at this point, is going after Palpatine. And I really think that at some point, Vader is going to put Maul in his place. And that's going to be flipping the switch because then Maul is really going to start to believe that he himself is a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he starts hating Kenobi more because Obi-Wan is the source of Maul being this failure. If Obi-Wan hadn't cut him in half, he wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
And then to him, after Vader shows him, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not the most powerful Force user or dark side wielder in the galaxy. Like, what am I?
Yeah.
So he loses his identity, and then he therefore loses his mind. He's pretty freaking crazy in Rebels, you know, like he's this kooky dude.
Are Maul's legs different in Rebels versus what they are now?
Yes, but
what? No, I don't think they are.
They are slightly.
That's the thing. Like we can't know. They're like different, but so is everything in Rebels
Yeah.
just because of the animation
Right.
style.
Because now I'm thinking like, imagine Vader like slices Maul's legs off as a
oh my
get back,
god!
and then
Hey,
then he goes back to Palpatine and he's like, he's been dealt with. We won't have to deal with him any longer. I sent him in the same way he died before and failed you. I have caused him to fail again. And then Maul gets new cybernetics. You know what I mean?
I think the reason we know that it is his legs are accurate or they are the same legs is because in Battlefront 2. Wait. Well, actually, I don't know because that's his solo legs.
Look at how different the
wouldn't-
pikes are between different
You're
shows.
right.
Yeah.
You can't really trust that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't also trust Battlefront 2 because his lightsaber also is not the same. That is supposed to be with that. With his
No, he has in Battlefront 2. He has in the old Master Skin. He has the Inquisitor saber. But I see what you mean. In Solo, his Crimson Dawn legs look way different than his Clone Wars legs. So
I will also say this as well. As much as I love Maul, after Hondo shot him in the leg in the Clone Wars and he lost a leg there, I'm just like, if like Hondo can, semi take you out, then at this point, I think anyone can because Hondo's Hondo. Like, I don't know.
It's just the question of like, there are so many people who, when they say, there are a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, Vader's going to show up. And then there are a lot of people who are like, no, it's not going to be Vader shows up because we know Maul survives. And if Vader shows up, there's no way Maul walks out of that room if Vader isn't there. And I'm like,
but there's that scene in Rebels of where he talks about like, Vader in that scene. And not only that, we actually sense fear in him. We like, actually hear
he's like, we can't take it. I can't take him alone.
Right. No, you're totally right. But that's the thing of like, is there an encounter where Maul just like two passing ships sees him and he's like, oh no. Or is there a big lightsaber fight at the end? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Where Maul's taking prisoner or something and
Yeah.
Vader's like trying to torture him. And bro, imagine it's like Vision and he's taken apart and he's like, or Nebula in Endgame, where she's like taken apart and Maul's like fully ripped apart and he's on like an operating table.
Oh, you mean like the Force Unleashed?
Exactly. Where he's taken apart like that and he gets away from there and there's not really a fight, but Vader takes him prisoner.
It'd be cool if also I like that as well because then it leads into the point of like him and Palpatine meet again.
Exactly.
Is it like a Palpatine and him having to have like kind of like a Force Unleashed Dark Side ending sort of thing of like, like you're a real pain in my ass.
I have this part right here of Vader. Grayson, it's the one that I got at Fan Expo Denver of Vader versus Maul, and behind them is just Palpatine watching like Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Of like making them fight over each other. It would be so sick to see all three of them in a room together. And that's the thing. It's does Maul make it out alive from a room? Who knows? But I mean, jingle those keys, dude. I want to see that.
My biggest thing too is that I'm really disappointed and sad that we didn't get the Son of Dathomir storyline actually on screen like we were supposed to. Because in that storyline, we see Maul, we see Grievous, we see Dooku, we see Mother Talzin, and then Palpatine all fighting each other like in one area. Could you imagine if we saw that on screen?
Who knows? Maybe we get it as like a Tales thing.
That would be sick.
Like Tales of Dathomir or something.
Tales thing. Honestly, I'm okay with us not getting it. I think it's the kind of thing that's a little bit. It's better suited for the comics.
It's also one of those things that I'm always a fan, and I don't dislike adaptations, but I saw this exact same point. It was from Dan Star Wars Centralized or SW Centralized on Twitter. He was like, it forces people to go read this storyline. I
love it. Yeah.
And like that's a big thing for me is I'm like, I like going out and seeking out that stuff. And that was that big point that Sam made. Sam made when he did not the Son of Dathomir, when he did Darth Maul Shadowhunter, the audiobook, and he talked to Dave about the whole discrepancy. I think it was the discrepancy that like Maul has said he's from Iridonia in that book because that was pre-Dathomir. That was pre-Dathomir Maul, right? and Dave's whole thing to Sam was like, no, it's good if these things are different because it forces people to go seek that out, you know? And I know that it's from an audience perspective, it's confusing, especially, granted, we would have gotten that episode if Clone Wars had not been canceled. Yeah. Simply put, that would have happened.
Right.
We would have gotten Dark Disciple. We would have gotten that. Clone Wars would have probably been a whole lot different if it didn't get canceled because they were going to do like Yuuzhan Vong and like season 8 or not. They were going to do like way more seasons of the show, you know. But I think
whole
it's
storyline was completely. I was going to say if Disney never bought Lucasfilm, like the entire storyline of Maul was going to be completely different, especially in the secret. Not in the secret, in the sequel trilogy, because he was going to be the main villain of that. So,
but it also depends if, like, I mean, this is all getting into hypothetical stuff now. Of like, I kind of don't think that the sequels, if George Lucas never sold Star Wars, I don't think we ever would have gotten the sequels. I just don't think it would have happened because I just don't think he wanted to do them. The whole pitch of like George Lucas's treatment of the sequels was more so of like a, well, here's what I thought I would have done. Here's, you guys can do this sort of thing. Right, but then they didn't really follow it. But it was like, that was the biggest thing is like, he talked about the sequels for years. I mean, since the 80s, right? Like, and he could have done them. He could have done the sequels.
And the ideas always changed.
Exactly. It was, they changed, the OT ideas changed. Like, that's the whole thing is like, and I think he was more set on the prequels. And then at that point, he was like, actually, the story's kind of done. I don't know. You never. It's hard to say, but
and changed to the point of like he ended up using, or there are talks of like, what if we used this for the Clone Wars between him speaking to Dave Filoni, which Sam has said a bunch, and I know Dave has even like reiterated like these are kind of ideas that we've spoken about with George. You know what I mean? So George was always changing stuff. Like all the time. And he would say in an interview, be like, yeah, it probably doesn't rain on this planet. And then the next movie is called Rain Planet. Like he's always changing stuff.
Dude, I saw this tweet from Retney today about George. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. It was so funny. It was, where's it at? It says, I can imagine a staff writer being like, hey, George, that idea you pitched for Clone Wars actually contradicts the Darth Bane novels. And then George just looks at them like this. And then someone in the comments put like, it was like a quote and it was like with like Dave and George. And the caption says, and make sure it doesn't contradict the Hero of Kartal storyline published in Star Wars Insider 67 or 68, featuring Kinman Doriana, a personal favorite of mine. Remember, I won't be checking up on you, and you have free reign to do anything, even if I explicitly forbade it. That's just like, it's like we have to like get rid of this notion that like all this stuff behind me, I love it. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
But the Clone Wars, people forget it, like effectively like white. And so this stuff is always changing. It's not new from canon to Legends to EU, all of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, listen, would I love to go back and like, at least get like, not like a full adaptation of Son of Dathomir, but just to show you like, because he addresses it. He's like, oh, I lost my mother, like all of this stuff. To get a little bit of that stuff would be cool just to help fill in people who have not, like, because Sam has said it like, oh, you can just hop into Shadow Lord without really having seen anything else, which is for the most part kind of true.
I think.
But like it'd be cool to get like, you know, like if he was meditating, right, and a kind of Revenge of the Sith style like vision of like seeing him taken as a child, right, and then like also seeing his like, you know, his training as like as a kid, and then later like seeing these key moments with Palpatine. Like honestly, this is the weird thing. I'm like, because I don't think it's like an adaptation per se, but like Bad Batch and Clone Wars did this where like they, in the opening of Bad Batch, they like recreate the bridge fight from Revenge of the Sith, or like Anakin and Obi-Wan are like, and it looks so good. Like, and so I'm like, if we got to see like, you know, you get to see Maul like the door in animation, Phantom Menace, the lightsaber open, just in animation, just to recreate that shot would be cool. Mm-hmm. But like, just make it kind of like a dum 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 sort of thing, not necessarily a like. And here's a full Son of Dathomir arc, you know, but and also with the way Tales works as well, like they adapted the Ahsoka book in a way with her coming back as like being to become Fulcrum, right?
Right.
And it happened differently. The way it happens in that is effectively very different. It's same thing with Kanan's Order 66 scene that happens in the comics, and then they changed it, and so I don't know. I think if they did do anything Son of Dathomir related, it either would be very brief or it would be a little bit different, which would be fine. I'd be fine with that but I mean, the story is there for people to find. It's like also kind of not hard to like find. It's like kind of still an active print, which is fun. But I'm always a sucker for when people go to seek out new stuff. Anyway, there's my soapbox about that.
Cool.
What the hell was that?
Was that a Stinky the Hut the more you know bit?
What did I
great.
Bro, 420 was yesterday, man.
There's just so many random things on here.
What was it?
It was just Rod of the Hut going across the screen with a rainbow coming out of it. I think
it was definitely the more you know inspired. I'm here.
Wait.
I love it.
Wait, hang on.
Oh, not again.
Oh no, that's the baby one. But it doesn't have audio. It's just us talking. I just feel like I just hallucinated hello.
That is a great transition into
No, it wasn't. Colin, you just hit a button.
Good segue.
That segue was like yelling the word segue and then starting another conversation.
I hope we get more Rod of the Hut merch at Celebration.
Speaking of Celebration,
Colin, that's my favorite thing you've ever done.
I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
Woo! That was great. Okay.
I love this community. I love this community so much.
That was crazy.
That was fantastic. So, anyways, I really hope they have Rada, merch at Celebration. Speaking of Celebration, great segue, Hunter. Celebration is coming up.
Better job than you.
Segue. Let's talk about something else. That's my favorite thing.
Oh my god. Never change.
Yep.
Okay, I will say I didn't mean to click it in that moment. I was waiting until you were officially done, and then I was gonna click it, but I clicked it too early. But
Star Wars Celebration 2027 tickets going on sale May 6th. Who's going? Are we excited? Colin, tell me everything. I'm a dumb baby.
I'm
a dumb baby Hut.
Yeah, pretty much. I smell like him too.
Grayson is a stinky little Hutlet, confirmed.
The little puppet that Jon Favreau made was based on my likeness.
Someone has already someone already 3D printed that, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, dude here in Michigan, he's crushing it. At the Toxic Collector. He like is first to it with every new creature. It's incredible.
How did he? Well, Will is having a full on breakdown right now.
Holy crap! I just died. He didn't even mean to press.
But I guess it got the job done.
Holy crap! That killed me. Okay,
Will, stop, dude. Jeez.
I had to mute. God. I had to mute. Oh my god! I'm so sorry.
I want to hire Colin as our producer for Determined Focus. Just like
that's my Colin. Can you please send that to me? I'm just gonna send that to people when I want them to shut up.
It's a great if that could be a gift, like a fantastic.
Just like on a call with somebody, and
you have to
shows up on their
that
screen.
has to be posted on Twitter for just no context and just
oh my god,
that's it.
That's my favorite thing, dude. Oh, please, I'm so sorry. Let's talk about Celebration.
Anyway, Celebration. I feel like we should probably tell people what our Celebration experiences are.
Yes.
So they know we're not just making stuff up.
Right. And And not only that, I like also wanted to kind of give everyone the mindset of, what to expect when to actually get tickets, because for some people this is their first time going to Celebration. This is going to be the busiest celebration because this is celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Wars as a whole. So it is a huge deal and everyone is going to want to go. So for ticket wise, if you're going for the 4-day pass, for single day passes, or even the VIP, the entire strategy is going to be the same thing because it's all under one thing. So when you do get tickets, you'll be like, or preparing to get tickets. I normally get there a tiny bit early just to kind of prep. And I'm a crazy person. And this year we're going to have 5 devices open and ready trying to get tickets just because.
My God.
So previous years,
yeah,
like it has not been a sellout in seconds type thing for anything but the VIPs. The VIPs are the only things that have gone like that.
Right.
Okay.
That is definitely worth saying. I mean, this isn't like Dragon Con rooms or like other ridiculous con related stuff like that.
Sure. Like San Diego Comic-Con.
VIPs, like I said, they sell out in seconds. It is very, very hard to get them. There are some cool perks that you get with it. The price for the VIP keeps going up, so you just have to weigh if that's worth it.
What are the perks for the VIP? Should we like pull up the difference?
Yeah,
between all the
and
amazing.
I can read through it here too.
What a segue!
If you are really into the con exclusives, VIP is a huge bonus there because you get on the con floor early. You also get into the Celebration store an evening early, which is great because the Celebration store it can be a madhouse at times.
It 100% can.
They usually have like the Celebration store. If people don't know, like they do custom merch for Celebration. They usually have some like really, really crazy, like funky items. And I'm all about that kind of stuff. Like that's what I like to collect. I have a Space Slug Jack in the Box from Celebration. They did like Space Slug oven mitts. I don't know why both my examples were Space Slug related, but they have all kinds of.
I like weird stuff. That's the stuff I like to collect. Basically anything Space Slug.
Yeah.
Yep. Very specifically anything Space Slug. Hey, maybe this year they'll have a bunch of cool Rod of the Hut merch. Never know.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I know for London, they actually had a lot of Max Rebo stuff. And I know it's a Max Rebo segue, but it is true. They actually had a lot of Max Rebo stuff.
A lot of their stuff will be themed towards the anniversary of that celebration.
Yes.
I would imagine a lot of this is going to be a New Hope related. But anyway, other VIP perks. So the Celebration stage is the main stage at Celebration, where they host all the big panels and stuff. With the VIP pass, you get guaranteed reserved seating in there. You just have to get there a little early. There are VIP lines for other stuff to get into photo ops, autographs, Celebration store, that kind of thing. One thing that is actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's different this year. So there's usually a VIP lounge. In previous years, they have done VIP celebrity meet and greets, which like in the lounge, they had 2 celebrities per con there. And like you could have some time to do like a meet and greet with them. I was fortunate enough to get VIP tickets when they were a lot cheaper at Celebration in 2017. And the 2 VIP meet and greets that I got were John Knoll and Doug Chang.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's crazy.
That Rogue One came out. And that was
that makes sense.
Really inspiring conversation. So it's kind of a bummer that it seems like they don't have it anymore looking at the list. And then on top of everything that I just mentioned, you get a whole bunch of exclusive VIP merch that you can only get if you have that ticket.
Yeah.
VIP is a big convenience thing. If you can swing it.
They have
Mhm.
also added the unfortunate thing is, and Hunter knows how I feel about it. I'm not sure if I talked to you guys about it yet, but they have something called the lottery system. And basically there's panels that they're happening all weekend long, and the bigger panels normally have a lottery system where you would where you like kind of put your hat in the ring for it, and then you're randomly selected, so you're not guaranteed to go to all the panels that you want. It is a random
well, we also need to clarify that is just for
Yeah.
the big main stage panels.
Yeah.
I did.
The other,
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because
Yeah.
all the other panels you can just go line up outside the room.
Yes.
Like normal.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is
So
probably what your like anniversary panel, any type of like movie show.
yes.
Yep. Those
Yeah.
are the big
So-
ones, and they put those admission wristbands out as a
Mhm.
lottery, basically.
Yep.
Like Colin
They
said.
started doing that back in 2019. Because
Yeah.
2017 was the last con that they did where you had to camp in line. I camped in line for all the big ones. So I was in line
Yeah.
for the all night long for the 40th anniversary panel, and then I was in line for the Last Jedi panel. Grayson,
I
did you
remember-
camp out in those lines?
No, I was driving to Florida, and actually, I have a buddy that went to the Last Jedi panel. And he called. I was like texting me about the whole night, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, like they stayed out, they camped outside. They were like and then they were inside, and then like a DJ was playing, and then like Ryan Johnson and John Boyega came out because it was like Last Jedi, and they were like, and then a baby peed on the floor, and they were like, so it was like he was
I don't
like, yeah,
remember
I
the
didn't
baby thing.
yeah,
I definitely remember the Ryan Johnson stuff. I don't remember the baby.
Yeah,
thing.
what he was like, the person next to them like had a baby, and they just like started peeing on the floor, and it was like just spreading everywhere, and they were like, so it just sounded like actual hell on earth, and I was like, I don't even think it's worth it, dude. Like just like no sleep to get into that panel. So, and I know the lottery system people have issues with, but like honestly, for me, I would say, oh, hey, there's Colin with Ashley Eckstein. She's pretty cool. Colin's also cool.
That was when I was well, thanks, bud. This was me when I was waiting in line for the 40th anniversary panel through the night. Actually, Eckstein actually came in with cupcakes, which was super cool. And then Danny Logan popped up, and then for the Last Jedi one, let me see.
Whoa, I didn't know you had that photo. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. So anything can really happen at these celebrations. It sucks that there's no more camping in line, but yeah.
We're
changed it in 2019.
Yeah, we're kind of, I guess, jumping around a little bit on celebration topics, but I think Colin's saying like anything can happen at celebration is kind of the big moral of the story. Celebration is not a cheap event to go to. I don't think that should be lost on anyone. And that is it sucks that it has to be expensive, but in my opinion, you do get what you pay for more than a lot of other conventions out there. And really what it keeps me coming back to Celebration even more than the panels and the exclusive merch and everything, and a whole exhibit hall that is just booth selling only Star Wars stuff. It's insane. But what keeps me coming back more than anything else is the community experience there.
Oh yeah.
It is overwhelmingly the most positive fan experience that I have gotten anywhere. And I know anyone else who goes to Celebration would agree. You're surrounded by like-minded people who are, look at little baby Grayson.
Oh God.
You don't look like a Hutlet there.
I'm a teenager. Wait. Oh, there's me with Alex from Stars Explained. Oh God.
Also baby Alex.
Yeah, we were young men. I wasn't even a man yet. I was still a child. I was 17. Dude, origin story photo right there. That was from Celebration 6. For people just listening to the audio, this is a picture of me
as a gross looking 12 or 13-year-old standing next to an R2D2 while I'm just looking like a total scrub at that age.
Yeah, that's what I say. I was like, this guy definitely eats Lunchables and plays with tech decks. Like,
yeah, no tech decks, just Star Wars action figures.
oh yeah, there you go.
And Bionicles.
But you get this. So like these photos are kind of really good representations of the kind of experiences you only ever get at Celebration. You get this really neat connection with the fandom. And it can inspire you in ways that like actually change what you're doing with your life. I mean, like I said, that photo of me with an R2D2 there, like that experience in the droid room at Celebration, that is part of why I do what I do today with building droids and stuff. And same thing with that photo that Colin just flashed of me with a guy in Captain Rex costume. Like you can learn more about the fandom, you can be drawn deeper into the fandom, and get to meet people. There's people that I met at Celebration going on 10 years ago that I still talk to, you know, like, and it's the only reason it works is because we're all there for the same thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was the same thing for me is like, I was thinking about this of like doing content and determined focus and everything. I'm like, I think back, I'm like, okay, this is always, it really stems from, I was a big watcher of like the Star Wars show on YouTube. And then that was 2017 was like prime heyday. Like, you know, we were getting, obviously we had just gotten Force Awakens and then Rogue One. And then Last Jedi was coming out and we were like Disney Plus and like the shows were like kind of just on the horizon. Like it was like kind of in the talks, but like not anything concrete yet. Like within the next 2 years, we were getting TV shows and stuff. And so like Star Wars hype was at an all-time high, but the amount of time that I spent at is it the Galaxy stage? What is the stage where they have like, they always kind of have like the setup, right? Like they've had the Beskar Forge, they've had the Falcon.
That's the live. Wait.
Yeah, they just called it the live stage, right?
Oh, it's just a live stage. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
There was most of my time at Celebration is like I didn't get to go to any of the panels at Celebration 2017 because that was my first time. We had the 4-day. I remember we were walking in on the first day, and that was when the debut panel was happening for like Sam Jackson. Like did a video about Mace Windu and like Hayden, like George was there, like George Lucas was there, all of this stuff. And I remember I was watching it on my phone as we were walking in to like get our stuff checked. And even then, like not making it to the panels, I still think back to Celebration, like that was genuinely one of the best moments of my life because I was there with my dad and some of my best friends, people that I still talk to. And we were talking about this before the stream, but like there's people that y'all two were there, and the amount of people that I know that were like that aren't on this that were there at that celebration that are now my friends is kind of crazy. But like I remember being at that live stage, and I remember I was spending so much time there because, of course, I was a fan of the Star Wars show of Andy Gutierrez and Anthony Carboni and all these people that worked on this stuff that I thought was so cool of how steeped it was in Star Wars. And I don't know if there was ever a conscious moment, but I always wanted to be some sort of like journalist. I wanted to be a games journalist or something like that. And I remember like the community aspect of the Star Wars space was so captivating to me. And I think at some point in there, I was like, man, it would be a dream to be able to do what those guys are doing, to just like be up there and just like hanging out and talking to people who make Star Wars, who are in Star Wars, who create Star Wars. And now Will and I, we get to do that. Like, and obviously it's more of a side thing, but like that, like changed something in my brain to where I was like, there is never a part of me for the rest of my life that I do not want to be part of this community. And like, and I've been unfortunate that I've not been able to make it to the other celebrations because I was like in school and then COVID, because I remember I was supposed to go to Celebration 2020, which didn't end up happening. That was going to be in Anaheim.
Yep.
It was on my birthday. Day one was on my 21st birthday, dude. And then COVID happened and it got shut down. And I wasn't able to go to the next one because I was in the college program at Disney. So I missed out on all of that stuff. And so like now this next one will be the 10-year mark, but like it is yes, it, like you said, it is expensive, but it is something that Will and I like. I regret like kind of not going to the Japan one because of like that was like a year before, like that was about a year ago. But like when you go to one, you will want to go to all of them forever. Yeah, it's like it's addictive, man, and it's like you're there for like 3 to 4 days, just hanging out with your friends, just about Star Wars, and like I describe it as like the high you feel is like insane. Like I remember like there is. People talk about like, you know, like, oh, getting back from their Disney vacation and get like depressed. That's how I felt. For the 3 days after Celebration, my dad and I were like, I just want to go back. Like, I'm just sad. Dude. Like, it was depressing.
Depression is the worst after Celebration.
Dude, it's like, because you're just there and like, everybody loves Star Wars, man. Like, all of the walls are brought down. There's not this, like, the whole internet, like, throwing blame and fingers at whatever. It's just like, you can be in a line. And I remember, like, talking to this kid. I mean, this kid's got to be like out of college now, but he was like 10 or 11, and we were talking about like ancient Sith Lords and Star Wars Rebels and Force Unleashed and all of this stuff. And I was like, and I was 17. This kid was like 9 or 10 maybe. And I often think back and I'm like, okay, I was 17. Obviously, I was pretty impressionable, but I'm like, I'm sure that kid is out there somewhere and probably has gone to every celebration since then. You know. It's like really sick.
That was me. I said, I was 12 or 13 at my first celebration, and it again, like you said, it like alters your brain in a way that you carry with you.
Yeah.
And you like really resonating with the Celebration live stage. That's like your thing with Star Wars, and that resonated with you. But there is stuff at Celebration to resonate with literally anyone about like any subset of the fandom. There's panels of like a lot of podcast host panels. For me, the one that really resonated with me was a Costuming the Clone Wars panel. There's panels about Star Wars vegetable carving, about Star Wars food collectibles, like anything under the sun, you can name it. And there's a panel about it and how it relates to Star Wars at Celebration. So it's celebrating both the breadth and the depth of the fandom in a way that you can't really do anywhere else when there is fewer fans gathered.
Also, it's like you can spend, I mean, I covered every inch of the floor because I was just going to all of these booths and just like seeing what they had and just talking to people and all of these different things. But then I remember, at least with Orlando, stepping outside of the floor and going to kind of like the surrounding halls and stuff was like also an insane experience, because you're just walking through these giant hallways and everybody is in Star Wars costumes. It's like, I remember I walked out and I saw a full kitted up group of Delta Squad with glowing blue visors and all. And then I hear screaming behind me, and there is a full group recreating the Rogue One hallway scene with actual, like, the rebel, they had closed the doors and the rebels passed the through thing, and then the Vader stabbed the guy, and I was like, what is happening? And then like a day later, I'm like going on and like 37 Wilro hoods just all run past me.
The running of the hood.
Dude, and I was like, my dad and I were like, we have to do that. We have to like that. We have to do that now, you know. And he bought. My dad went on. Say what?
You guys are just talking about doing pilot costumes. That is a stripped down pilot costume.
I know. And I was like, I've got the stash for it. I remember like my dad went on Facebook Marketplace like a couple years later, and he like bought the same ice cream maker, and he was like, he's Hamilton like, I can do it. Like, it's awesome, right? It's just like that sort of stuff, and that's just experiences, right? But then like, I mean, I got to go to like a panel of like all of the OG X-Wing pilots. Oh, he had to fully change his setup right now.
Hey,
he lives.
We can't hear you right now.
Muted.
So, all right, Grayson and Colin and I have been gushing about our experiences at Celebration, but we have someone here who has not been to a celebration. And I think that is a really important thing to talk about. So, Will, as someone who has not been to Celebration, what do you want to know, and like what are you excited for?
So I, for the last however long, since they started doing the streams, I have sat down and nonstop watched those streams front to back pretty much every year. So I know what Celebration looks like from like the content consumer perspective. I think for me, as somebody who has been to a lot of conventions, it'll be interesting to navigate from like just like the Star Wars fan perspective, because I think the biggest thing for me is like I do have a sense of, yeah, I'm incredibly excited, but there's the thing of like, am I going to be extremely overwhelmed the whole time? You know what I mean?
There's a lot going on. You have to prepare your social battery.
Yeah.
Like it's weird because you come up from the con and you're super depressed that you're not surrounded by all of that anymore. But then at the same time, you're like, I need to recharge, because it is a lot. And that's not to say like you can go and you cannot really interact with you. If you just want to passively observe stuff, you can totally do that. Knowing like you guys, you're like me, like you go to these events and like you are sociable about what you're there for, you know?
Yeah.
And be prepared for that it's going to be a lot of that. And you can totally go back to your hotel room and like take a half hour or however long to just be like, I need to just be here. And we've actually done that in the past with the stream. Like we will go back to the room and just sit and stream a panel that we didn't get into or whatever. And like that's a good recharge time too. I guess maybe that's a pro tip.
Yeah. That's also another thing is like the amount of times that like would not recommend doing this with like we would go out into those outer halls and like you said observe. We would just like we would either bring food or we would like get food at the con, which I'm bringing my own food for this one because I want to save money. And we would just like sit there and like lay down and we would just be like eating our pizza or like our pretzels or whatever and just be like, oh, there's Princess Leia. Oh, there's the main writer for Battlefront 2. Oh, there's you know like what, and you're just like seeing these people, but you're just like not talking and you're just like eating or like that was like, and it's just and you find a way to like make that, you know, like okay, you got to find some breaks in there because it gets, you know, thankfully it's not like there's panels like there's panels going on all day, but even then like some of those panels, like I mentioned, like I went to go see all the X-Wing pilots as a like there was one panel that they did and it was like Dutch Vander and like all of the actors who like played the significant A New Hope pilots. And we were just like, we'd kind of seen the floor a lot. It was kind of getting like towards the like end of one of the days. And we were like, let's just like go hop in this panel, you know? And I were just like sitting there and we were able to just kind of like just chill out and just like watch that in like a cold, dark room, you know, and it wasn't like, you know, slammed or anything. Also, one of the other biggest things that I got to see at Celebration, which is like finding these little things of like this is a little bit more involved. But back when Collider would do their trivia schmodowns,
yeah, dude,
and that was when you had people like Christian Harloff and Jeremy Johns and of course Sam Witwer, who was there.
Yeah,
that was the first time I ever saw Sam Witwer. And he just absolutely sweeped at trivia. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's also going to be different for me because I was a kid who was just like that was like my senior trip, like my high school senior trip, or like senior like graduation gift sort of thing was going to Celebration. And it's going to be a lot different now covering the events and like doing that sort of stuff. But it's also going to be fun because it's like, okay, once the con doors close of like, all right, let's all go hang out, you know, like let's all go like get drinks or get some food or just like because like Star Wars stuff is happening afterwards. They're doing parties, they're doing like all of this stuff, which is fun. So you're kind of getting to like enjoy all these new announcements and things. And of course, it's going to be the 50th, so it's already going to be bigger and broader and deeper than probably any other celebration before. I think. I would guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're getting close to wrapping up here.
My brother.
Did you mean to do it that time? So Will is deceased. I was gonna ask Will if he had any other celebration related questions. Maybe we should just
Or
do this
Grayson.
again and actually
Yeah.
talk about celebration.
Yes. And where I'm not having weird technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This entire hour and
Bro.
35 minutes was a fever dream.
Bro, what was that?
That was Bananakin.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Thanks for clearing that up. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm
well,
stuck
okay.
for Maul Shadow Lord.
So-
Celebration's cool. I think we're
So-
gonna have a good time. Star Wars.
So what you're saying is we need to
to.
getting tickets, be on top of it on May 6th. Also,
Yes.
the other thing I want to say is that apparently preferred hotel tickets are going on sale too.
That is something
Yes.
that I am exponentially more worried about. Is
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
every year it's different with how many rooms are around there. I have been to that area before. There is
Yep.
not a lot of hotels in walking distance.
No, there's not.
So it could be a total mess. It could work out. Who knows how that day is going to go?
Dog, people
There will
driving
also-
in to LA that day to get to that center is
Mhm.
going to be crazy.
Yes. So try and find something, close. And we know it's out to ask just because there is a very slim chance that you may or may not get a hotel because those will sell out super quick. Most likely. And the other cool thing is the area that is in the, and I know we all have to hop off and do our thing just super quick. There is Scum and Villainy. That's not too far away, but there's also going to be Scum and Villainy Rendezvous, which is going to be a new place that's opening up, which is a huge nerd hangout. So stay tuned for that because there is going to be really cool things that is going to be happening that weekend, just in general, but also VCN wise as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. We definitely have to do this again soon, especially where I'm not cutting in and out, and then there's not Jabba the Hutt coming across your screen. I guess I don't know.
Something tells me you will still do that next time.
Yeah,
I'll find a way.
It'll be
talk about
it'll be
Max Rebo.
something new. It'll probably be like I don't even know what it's
It's going
gonna
to be Max
dude.
Rebo next time.
it's gonna be
I
Grayson's
mean-
face.
I hope so.
That is.
Can it be my
that
face
is-
on Max Rebo?
I can make that happen. Yeah.
Thank you. That's my birthday wish.
I
My
got you.
birthday's not for another 4 months, but that's fine.
When is celebration? What are the days?
Star Wars
1st
Celebration
through
is
4th.
yes.
Colin's yelling. April 1st through 4th, 2027 in Los Angeles, California at the LA Convention Center.
Oh, so it's less than a
Right.
year. Okay,
Downtown.
great.
Right,
And yes, as Colin has up on screen, tickets go on sale on May 6th.
Great.
Right.
Great.
Yep.
I'm scared. I guess I'll have my phone and my laptop and my computer and my PlayStation and my Samsung fridge all ready to go to get tickets.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We need to talk about
Uh,
the fridge questions, but yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
Sweet.
I got to get out of here, guys.
Yes, we're ending the stream. Thank you all so much for listening. You can find two of these lovely gentlemen to the right or the left. I forget what it is for the audience. Grayson and Will, go check out the Determined Focus podcast. Absolute fun.
It's pretty
They
cool.
talk, about a lot of cool stuff. Not enough about Max Rebo. That's my only thing. But other than that,
They make cool shirts too.
yes, they've got some great merch. Lovely guys. And then you got Jedi Hunter, which is all about the droids and the fandom and is just an absolute stand-up guy.
Woo.
And then you have me, who has a
And you
lot
can
of
follow-
problems, including Max Rebo. So there you go. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. May the Force be with you forever and always.
Maul Shadow.